Today we're diving into one of Modern Warfare 3's most underused mechanics, tactical stance. It's kind of weird, but it offers a unique balance between hip firing and aiming down the sights. It's new in Modern Warfare 3, and even if a lot of people ignore it, I think a few settings make it easier to use and can give you an edge in battle. So grab your favorite weapon and let's get started. Since the original Call of Duty over 20 years ago, you've been able to shoot from the hip or aim down sight, otherwise known as ADS. Shooting from the hip is much faster, but ADS is much more accurate. I like to use mid to long range weapons, so when I turn the corner and come face to face with an enemy, I'm usually at a disadvantage. But tactical stance changes that. It's essentially a middle ground between firing from the hip and aiming down the sights. And it looks like this, with the gun tilted slightly, but your view is still wide and not obscured. It offers a tighter bullet spread than hip firing, making it more accurate at mid-range while still retaining some of the hip firing speed and field of view. Think of it as a hybrid stance, perfect for situations where you need to react quickly and accurately. So when I'm carrying my mid to long range assault rifle in close quarters, I can switch to tactical stance. My assault rifle will still be slower than an SMG, but at least I have a fighting chance. And if they're using an assault rifle like me, then suddenly I have the upper hand, because chances are they're not using tac-stance. And that's because the default settings kinda suck and you need to make a quick change to unlock its potential. By default, tactical stance is enabled and automatically triggers when you slide. This is incredibly powerful, and if all you do is master this ability, you're going to be a cut above the average player. But you can also activate it manually by aiming down sights or going ADS, and pressing down the D-pad on consoles or pressing V while aiming on a PC. First of all, pressing down on the D-pad while aiming is terrible. Not only is it clunky, but you should always be moving that left thumbstick at least a little so you can keep the aim assist engaged. And the whole point of tac-stance is to use it in situations that require quick reaction, so having a different button press is going to increase that reaction time. That's why you need to go in and tweak the settings. You can adjust the activation method and the behavior. Take some time to explore these options and find out what works best for you, but I suggest changing the activation to a double tap on the ADS button and its behavior to toggle. That way you can switch in and out of this stance easily. Here's how that setup works in action. I use my assault rifle at mid to long range as normal, but now when I enter a smaller area or I'm worried about someone being around the corner, I can double tap the ADS button, and now when I aim down the sights, it goes into tac-stance instead. That means my gun is drawn quicker and I have a wider field of view than in a typical ADS mode. And I have a tighter bullet spread than just going with hip fire. And I can double tap the ADS button and go back to normal at any time. So tactical stance shines in several situations. In close quarters combat, when enemies are right in your face. When clearing rooms and buildings, when the increased field of view helps you spot threats while still offering decent accuracy for quick takedowns. When watching one spot while keeping an eye on the other, like watching this door and keeping an eye on the window at the same time. Holding a tight aim on one spot while keeping your field of view is probably the most useful aspect of tac-stance. But it's also really useful when camo grinding ARs and LMGs, even if you prefer SMGs and shotties. But don't forget the tactical stance has its drawbacks. It reduces your sprint speed, and while it's more accurate than hip fire at close range, it's still pretty wild at long range. So you definitely want to use it strategically and only with the correct scenarios and weapons. Now let's take things to the next level. Here are some more tips for using tactical stance. Combine it with attachments. Attachments that improve hip fire accuracy also enhance the effectiveness of tactical stance. Use it for flanking maneuvers. Surprise enemies by quickly flanking them and using tactical stance for accurate close range kills. Apparently, you can even use it as a combo with jumps and drop shots, but honestly this is a bit above my pay grade, so I don't have any footage of that. So there you have it. Have you been using tactical stance? I think it's a powerful tool that can significantly improve your gameplay in Modern Warfare 3 when used correctly. By mastering its uses and limitations, you can dominate the battlefield and leave your opponents in the dust. Or, well, you could if the game wasn't manipulating your lobbies to stack the decks for you or against you in order to trick you into playing longer. For more on that, check out my video on engagement optimized matchmaking. But leave a like before you go, and I cover a wide range of games including Call of Duty, so you might even enjoy pressing that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.